The bit of land on the tip of Humberside is under threat of becoming an island. Today, 2 more stretches of road were lost after gale-force winds continue to batter the peninsula. The lifeboat families who live there are still isolated from the mainland. Here's Tina Gelder.
A combination of high tides and winds gusting up to 60 miles an hour has claimed even more of this landmark. Last night this road was intact. Today it's one of 3 stretches that have been washed away. Only last October, conservationists gave up the fight to maintain Spurn in its present form. They said Mother Nature should be allowed to take her course. She's now doing so in style.
Here we are seeing natural elements coming to the fore. We're seeing Spurn rolling over on itself. It's returning to a sort of natural, sustainable but highly dynamic system.
A community alone, the 7 Humber lifeboat men and their families remain cut off. Access is only possible with a 4-wheel drive vehicle along the beach. But today has finally brought a rest for the lifeboat crew.
Conditions have been, for the last 2 days, as such that it was nigh on impossible to get aboard. So we've literally lived aboard the lifeboat for the last 2 days.
Snowball fights provide the only relief for youngsters. Residents here are pulling together.
We've managed to get off shopping on the beach. It was very hard. I didn't like it. I won't be going again. Definitely not. But we have got food supplies in, which is the main thing, all of us.
Spurn Point has been described as one of the oddest places on Earth. 3 days of unprecedented storms have caused much of this fragile peninsula to disappear. With atrocious weather conditions forecast for the next 24 hours, it's inevitable that even more of Spurn will be lost to the sea. The landowners, the Yorkshire Wildlife Trust, will assess the damage on Friday, but they insist there's no way Spurn Point will disappear altogether.
Tina Gelder reporting on the threat to one of our region's most famous landmarks. The Sheffield pop singer Jarvis Cocker
say there'll be little chance of restoring the link with the mainland. Last night's storms left the promontory just a few yards wide in places. Our environment correspondent Richard Sadler has spent the day there.
In the last 24 hours, the situation here has deteriorated dramatically. At 5:30 last night, cars were still driving along this road. Now more than 300 metres of roadway have collapsed into the sea.
Parts of the road have been washed away several times in the last 15 years, but this is by far the worst damage done. Now the owners of Spurn Point, the Yorkshire Wildlife Trust, say the road may have to be relayed further west.
If Spurn's a Yorkshire Wildlife Trust nature reserve, there's no technical problem with actually losing land. The difficulty comes for the community at